Hello and welcome to Morning Trade with Moneycontrol. I'm Karunya Rao and I'm here to help you get going for the trading day. In the next half an hour, we'll touch upon the big stocks in focus, market-moving news and trends, expert views and picks to help you navigate this street, and most importantly, your queries during the course of the show. So guys, keep commenting on our YouTube live feed, and if you're watching this on Facebook or Twitter, you can send us your questions there too in the comments section. Okay, let's get started and tell you how the global handover is looking. Well, definitely not encouraging at all. Wall Street did recover from the lows led by tech stocks, but European stocks closed sharply lower on Monday as concerns over a resurgence of COVID cases in China overshadowed the reflection, or rather the re-election of French President Emmanuel Macron. Asian markets right now are looking mixed. Sgx Nifty is indicating towards a marginally positive start for the Indian markets, but definitely not bad right now. About 0.15% higher for the Sgx Nifty. Let's see how the markets open. But yesterday the Nifty definitely was dragged below 17,000 levels amid selling across sectors. Except banking, all other sectoral indices ended in the red. Let's talk stocks then, because that's what we're exactly here for. After a relatively quiet day on the earnings front yesterday, today we have heavyweights Bajaj Finance, HDFC Life lined up to report their Q4 earnings. Aditya Birla Sun Life AMC will also be in focus, an important earning candidate to watch out for. Let's welcome on board our guest for the day then and get started. Chandan Taparia from Motilal Oswal Financial Services joins us right now. Hi Chandan, good morning and welcome to the show. Okay, I think we have a minute before Chandan logs in, but let me just take a look at how the Asia markets are faring right now. As of now, pretty much in the green, I would say, barring ASX, which is down by 2%. All the other indices are looking fairly resilient. Nikkei is up about 0.5%. Shanghai is up 0.7%. Hang Seng 1.1% gains coming in there. Kospi is looking very resilient as well. So largely, Asian markets seem to have shrugged off that weakness that we saw in the western part of the world, whether it's Wall Street or whether it's the European part of the world. So largely what we're doing right now is looking good, all set, gearing up for the morning trade. Chandan is here. Chandan, hi, can you hear me? Morning. Okay, I think there's some delay again to patch Chandan on the show. How about we give you a quick check of how the Sgx Nifty is doing right now, because the last time I checked, it was about 0.15% higher in trade. Right now, well, looking quiet, but very much in the green. 17,148 is where it's perched at, with a gain of about 20 points. So largely, I feel like, there's nothing much to worry about. It may not be a stellar comeback on Dalal Street, but we could be bracing ourselves definitely for a positive open, if not a very strong one, I would say. But that's how the trend has been largely, when it comes to markets. They have been oscillating quite a bit, and today may be a quiet day for the street, but largely I think we're set for the day. Neha is here. Let me first go across to her. She is our banking analyst at MC Pro, and she will help us understand what's happening in the space. More importantly, shed the spotlight on ICICI Bank and HDFC Bank. Neha, hi. Thanks for joining in.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
So, Neha, tell us what's happening, as far as the performance was concerned. ICICI Bank, very robust set of numbers. HDFC Bank, consistently been a good performer. But why, the street is not rewarding HDFC Bank as much as it is, liking ICICI Bank at this juncture?
Yeah. So both leading private banks reported good set of numbers. But in case of HDFC Bank, as you said, the performance was very consistent. It was a healthy profit growth, but earnings growth was obviously much lesser as compared to ICICI Bank. And the key problem, I would not say problem, but the disappointment was on the margin front in case of HDFC Bank. HDFC Bank's margins have corrected gradually from say 4.4% level to 4% in the current quarter. And this has been a gradual reduction in the last 4 years. Now, on the contrary, if you look at ICICI Bank, in the same period, its net interest margins has improved from 3.3% to 4%. So as of now, both banks have equal margins, that is 4%. But HDFC Bank's margins has come off, and that was a clear case of disappointment. Now, the reason that the bank gave for this margin contraction is that it has been focusing on corporate lending, which is relatively low yield as compared to the retail lending. And that has been the reason for this margin compression. On the other hand, ICICI Bank has been going great in the retail space and has been increasing the retail lending book at a very good growth rate. So, its margins has improved. Yeah, so margin has been a key differentiator for both the.
Neha, from a retail investor standpoint, what we know so far is the fact that ICICI Bank has closed the gap with HDFC Bank on most financial parameters. But as far as valuation is concerned, it's still trading at a discount of about 18-19% when it comes to the difference between ICICI vis-a-vis HDFC Bank. What would be your advice to our viewers, to all the retail investors? Should they look at buying HDFC Bank at this juncture, or should they instead look at an ICICI?
Yeah. So as you rightly said, that ICICI Bank has closed the gap with HDFC Bank on all financial parameters, be it funding profile, loan book mix, margins, asset quality, provisioning, capital front, everything. But ICICI is still at a discount to HDFC Bank. If I have to tell in terms of numbers, it is quoting at around 1.8 times FY24 book value and HDFC Bank is at around 2.2 times FY24 estimated book value. Now, this gap is there, and we think that this gap is likely to reduce because ICICI Bank has given a robust earnings performance. So as far as retail investor is concerned, ICICI Bank is a good bet for near to medium term. As far as HDFC Bank is concerned, the stock has massively underperformed Bank Nifty, the peer group in the last 1 year. Now, going forward, though the performance continues to be consistent, actually the merger news continues to weigh on the stock performance. So the stock is likely to be volatile. However, it gives a good opportunity to pick up the stock and buy the stock in a staggered manner over the next 2 years till the merger gets completed. Okay. Because we think that HDFC Bank at the current valuation is very attractive, and it can be a long-term compound.
Okay, Neha. Okay, guys, I hope you've noted what our MC Pro analyst had to say about this. From the near to medium term, ICICI definitely looks more attractive. And of course, HDFC Bank, a player for the long haul. Thanks, Neha, for joining in. Chandan Taparia is now joining us to talk technicals. Chandan, hi, morning. A lot of our viewers are waiting eagerly for you to understand how the trade setup looks like and, what are the big stocks to watch out for. We will take their queries later on in the show, but Chandan, talk to us about how Nifty is looking today, because looks like we could open in the green, but it could not be a very meaningful upside today at least. What do you think?
Very good morning, and what a lovely morning and great to interact with you at Moneycontrol. And really, I appreciate each and every follower who are asking the question, and we are eager to reply each and everything. So first, starting with the Nifty, we have seen a roller coaster ride in the market in last couple of days. Even if you notice yesterday, Nifty was down by 220 points, but at the same time, your Bank Nifty was up by 38 points. But we have seen significant position being built in the Bank Nifty, but shorts were there in the Nifty index. But if you look at the technical setup and the Fibonacci number and the Fibonacci arc and time cycle, then exactly it has taken support near to 50% retracement zone. And that was at 16,880 marks. And yesterday, exactly it hit the level of 16,888 and bounced by around 100 points towards the close. So I believe that because of that key number, some bounce could be seen in the index, which might take it to 17,171. So if you ask me the immediate trading range for the Nifty, that could be in between 16,888 to 17,171. But one need to understand that medium-term trend is taking some negative pause. So that's why bounce may not be respected or bounce may not hold. But as of now, the way banking stocks are doing well, and selective heavyweights are supporting the market from the lower zone, we might see a probable bounce towards 17,050 to 17,177 marks in day or in day 2.
Okay, all right. Let's put the spotlight on some of the stocks that we're tracking today. Lots of earnings trickling in. We're in the thick of the earnings season, but the big names today will be Bajaj Finance to start with. So, the street expects the quarter to be once again a stellar one. They expect good results. The update on asset quality, of course, will be something very critical to watch out for, how the commentary also will be for the future quarters by the management. But we're getting a query as well on Bajaj Finance from Chetu Preeti. She's asking if Bajaj Finance will go up today. But not just today, Chandan. I want you to tell us how it's looking on the charts for the next couple of weeks. How is it likely to play out?
Yeah, so if I talk about Bajaj Finance, this stock has really done a wonderful job in last 10 years. Year-on-year basis, every year the stock was hitting on the positive gains. But this year, slightly some consolidative move is visible in the counter. If I look at the weekly setup, the stock is making lower highs, lower lows, but the good part is the decline is being bought. So if you ask only for intraday point of view, I may see some consolidative way. But if you ask me for some positional point of view, then I believe that 6,500 or 6,600 zone could provide a major support to extend this momentum to a 7,500 to 77 kind of level. So some consolidative is visible on lower time frame or on the weekly time frame. It is making lower top, lower bottom, but now it may negate and can see an uptick. And positionally, you can see a momentum towards 7,500, 7,700 zone in the counter.
Okay, all right. I hope Preeti has taken note of that. But let's move on to HDFC Life as well, another nifty candidate that will be delivering its Q4 report card. Last 6 months have been quite rough for HDFC Life, actually more than 6 months now. It's come off quite a bit. Do you think, despite what's happening on the fundamentals, do you think going by the chart, it looks like there could be some more pain in the foreseeable future?
Actually, if I look at the HDFC Life and other life insurance companies, most of these stocks were under pressure or they were trying to get stability at the lower zone. And again, this is not the favorable counter for the trading. This is more for the long-term point of view. If someone is looking to buy this dip and wait for a couple of more days. If I look at the monthly scale, in last 7 months, the stock is corrected from 777 to all the way to 500 zone. So good correction of 270 points, almost more than 50% as seen from the higher levels. So it's not a trading bet, but yes, we are waiting for a decline towards 505, 510 to accumulate the counter for a bounce towards 580 zone in next couple of weeks.
Okay, we've discussed HDFC Bank moments before you joined in. We've talked about HDFC Life. Why don't you tell us about the rest of the subsidiaries as well? Anything you like, maybe an HDFC AMC or HDFC Limited? Any of these stocks looking good right now?
See, if you ask me on an immediate basis, then let me tell you, most of these stocks are facing the negative trend. They are making lower top, lower bottom formation on the daily and the weekly scale. But now I believe the name like HDFC Bank or HDFC Limited should bottom out, because already we have seen huge volatility in the stocks post the merger news. HDFC Bank headed all the way to a 1700, but recently it has corrected to 1320 kind of level. So I think this provides a better risk to reward ratio. So those who are looking for trading as well as medium term investment point of view, definitely they should look at the HDFC Bank and HDFC Limited. So if you talk about HDFC Bank, I suggest to buy here, and the stock has major support near to 1300, and it is well positioned now for a bounce towards 1500, 1520 levels on the short term basis. While HDFC Limited again provide better risk reward ratio with support of 2120, we may see a bounce towards 2320 levels in the counter.
Okay. All right. And the third big stock that we're tracking today, Chandan, is Aditya Birla Sun Life AMC. I know there's not too much of a historic trend that you can track in terms of the chart pattern. Like I said, since listing already, it has lost about 24%. Any view that you would like to share on this one, or you're not tracking it right now?
Actually, the stock just they're having the less history, and we are the follower of the chart and the price behavior. So not having the major history, but yes, I believe let it get some stability. Don't be in hurry, and especially I suggest in this market when many heavyweights are giving you discount of 15 to 20% from the higher levels, you can pick your best with the quality and the margin of the safety in this market.
Okay. All right. Let's get started. Lots of queries, like I said, Chandan, that are trickling in. Gaurav Kumar wants to ask your view on Ambuja Cement. Is there any sort of targets that you have internally that you would like to flag off for our viewers?
Yeah, we have positive on cement counter. In fact, you notice that Nifty is down by around 5% from its recent high to the previous day low. But most of the cement stocks are doing well. In fact, we were recommending to buy Ambuja Cement to our clients, and this stock is continuously making higher tops, higher bottom on the weekly time frame. The good part is that base is being shipped to higher zone. Now the immediate support for the stock goes to 362, and because of that, it can attempt towards 400 zone. But we need to understand that we are heading towards the monthly expiry, and because of that, call writing is there at immediate strike. So that's why the stock is finding some hurdle at higher levels. But overall, we are expecting the stock to extend the momentum towards 400 plus levels in time to come post this expiry.
Okay. Yesterday also on the show, we were discussing how power sector stocks have been, performing quite well. I wouldn't say there's much to complain even for a Tata Power, because despite all the, consolidation, etc., that was happening in the market, year to date, it has still gained about 11-12%. But one of our viewer wants to know if they should buy it at the current level. This is a query from Shivam Gupta on Tata Power, if you can address it.
So Tata Power and most of the power stocks have done well 4 or 5 weeks back. But in last 3 weeks, we have seen some correction in most of the power companies. And especially if you talk about the power grid or the Tata Power, all these stocks were in pressure. If I talk about the medium term point of view. But now good part is most of them have come to its 50-day exponential moving average and coming to the key retracement zone. So if I talk about the Tata Power, they really started all the way from 200 to 300 zone. Now it's at 50% retracement zone. So I think 235 could act as a major support for again bounce towards 262 kind of tick in Tata Power. And similarly in Power Grid also, one can look for a major support near to 212 for bottom formation and the uptick in the count.
Okay. All right. Makes sense. But any other names in the power space that you would like to recommend instead?
Actually, if I look at the shorter term time frame, most of the power companies are making lower top, lower bottom. So I don't have immediate suggestions for trading point of view in the power, but most of the names, especially the Power Grid or Tata Power, which we discussed, could be bought on declines. And if you want any pick, I'll go with Power Grid, buy this on any small decline, and bottom will be placed for next leg of rally in the counter.
Okay, makes sense. Another query from our viewers, again on a Tata company. This is for Tata Consumer. Gunashekar is asking us if they should short sell Tata Consumer. If we look at Tata Consumer's performance in the last 1 month, actually it's not been too bad. About 8% up for the last 30 odd days. Do you think it's the time to short sell? Do you see some pressure or some pain on the counter going forward?
Let me tell you, Tata Consumer is not a good idea for short selling. In fact, this is the counter of buy on decline. If you have to find out short, you need to find out some pharma counter, few metal space, the mid-cap names. But Tata Consumer is the one which is forming the higher base. However, the stock is not moving, has been consolidating in a range from last 12, 13 for trading session. But at the same time, it is finding multiple support near to 785 zone. We are witnessing some cold writing, but supports are intact. So I think this is the candidate for buy on decline. Past months, we have seen good recovery, and before that, the stock is corrected all the way from 900 to 650 zone. So I think dip could be bought, wait for any decline to us 775, 780, and grab the opportunity for next leg of rally to us 830, 840 zone in the counter.
Chandan, lots of queries coming on sugar stocks as well. Ramakrishna and Kiran both want to know your view on Balrampur Chini. In fact, the entire sugar pack, the way things have played out there has been phenomenal. Even a Balrampur Chini has given the investors around 40% in the last 6 months. So do you think one should buy at these current levels, because already the stock has run up quite a bit?
Exactly. And if you remember last time also we talked about Balrampur Chini when we did the interaction, and most of the sugar stocks have done well, and especially I like the kheer, and in that you have combination of the sugar and rice. So I have positive on most of the sugar and the rice company. However, due to the market volatility, some decline could be seen, but that could be bought well. So if you ask me the sugar name, I'll prefer more on the counter like Renuka and all, which are giving the tremendous breakout on the daily, weekly space. Balrampur Chini also looks good, but let it find some support near to 440 zone. So buy on decline could be the right strategy for the Balrampur Chini. Buy near to 440 and again it can head towards 500. I think sugar stock can be accumulated on decline if you are having the view for next 2 week to 2 months kind of horizon.
Chandan, my colleague had done a story on Moneycontrol, or rather an interview with Anil Agarwal of Vedanta. And during the course of the interaction, it was discovered that BPCL deal is not happening. The government has rolled back the offer. Talk to us about how it looks on the chart, because a lot of investors who were actually waiting for a positive development or some kind of a update as far as BPL divestment is concerned, they are heavily invested and now they're wondering what to do. And in fact, one of our viewers, Vinod Ganzre, he also wants to know about BPCL. He's been texting us to ask your view from a chartist angle. How is it looking?
Actually, the BPSCL or HPCL or oil marketing companies are having the different nature on the chart. They take the support when they decline, they witnesses the selling when they breakouts. So different kind of nature is visible in all name. Even if you notice 2 days back, the stock has given a breakout and was holding well above 390 and just try to attempt 400 marks, but it missed 400 zone and corrected by around 10% from highs. So I think these are the tricky name. I may not suggest these stocks as a trading bets, but yes, for investment point of view, it seems that now stability could shift or the higher base could be seen in the counter. So as of now, I'm looking at major support near to 355 in the BPCL. And I think the stock is waiting for any trigger to start the next leg of rally. And that is why the multiple barriers are visible near to 390 and 400 zone.
Okay, all right. Shivam Sharma has sent us a message. He wants to know your view on LT Foods and KRBL. Both of these companies have run up phenomenally in the last 1 month. Rice stocks have actually been, quite hot in the recent past. So, do you have a view there for either of these names or both?
Yeah, already I talked about the rice and sugar, and the rice stocks are really doing well, especially when you talk about the Dawat and KRBL. So if I talk about the Dawat, that is LT Food, it's up by around 23% on month-on-month basis. And in this month, it has given a long consolidation breakout of last 10 months. If I look at the entire yearly chart, in 2018, the stock made high near to 110. So let it move by 5 to 8%, the stock will rally by further 20 to 50%. So this is a major candidate for the price breakouts in the mid-cap space. And that is the reason that I'm turning bullish in the same. But one need to understand that these are the low price stock, usually witnesses the selling near to the round figure number. And that is the reason that it is finding tough to surpass 100 marks. But once it manages to move above 100, definitely you can see a rally towards 110 and 125 kind of level. So overall positive bias, keep on accumulating the same with support of 88 for rally towards 110, 125. Now, if I talk about the KRBL is also doing well. We have seen a major consolidation breakout. However, the Dawat has delivered good return comparatively if you look at the bigger time frame on the monthly and quarterly and yearly. But yes, when your Dawat is moving, KRBL is also forming the higher base. It is support near to 235 to extend the momentum towards 275, 280 zone.
Okay, all right, makes sense. Do you have a view on Chambal fertilizers as well? Because is it correct to believe when a sugar stocks or textile companies, paper companies, rice companies are doing well, will fertilizers also follow suit? And Chambal fertilizers specifically, since our viewer had also mentioned, if you could also share your view specifically on this one.
Yeah, so yes, the theme is shifting all the way to rice and sugar. So definitely the fertilizer could be in the focus. Chambal we like, but only concern is that sustained supply is visible at higher levels. I've noticed the price behavior of last 10, 12 days and earlier also. Whenever stock goes near to 500, some sudden selling happens. So this is the counter which can be bought on decline. I think 425, 430 provides a better opportunity to buy, and then slow and steady you can target towards 500 zone in the stock.
Another stock that's been making good progress is CESC. In fact, Johnny, one of our viewers, is asking you if you have a view there and should he buy at the current levels?
I think he can buy because this chart look quite promising. If I look at the price behavior, we are almost completing the price consolidation of last 11 days. Yesterday's lows was exactly the 50-day exponential moving average. Earlier that used to be the hurdle. Now the same is acting as a support. So this is the candidate for the role reversal. So I think a small positive opening is required for CSC. And in that scenario, you can see a target to us 88 to 91 levels soon.
Okay, all right. Chandan, lots of questions are still trickling in, but we have time constraints. But why don't you make the job easy for our viewers and give us your 3 ideas that you're betting on as far as technicals are concerned?
Yeah, that is a good idea. Actually, if you look at the market is witnessing huge volatility when your India VIX is spiking. So I have shortlisted few counter which are from the heavyweights, and these are the outperformer in their entire particular sector. So first trade is buy on Maruti. This stock has given a consolidation breakout of last 35 trading session. One need to understand this Maruti is heavyweight, so not expecting 10%, but at least expecting 3 to 5% momentum. The stock is holding well, given a decisive consolidation breakout. It has measured support near to 7650, can target to us 8300, 8500 level. One can also look at the counter like ICICI Bank. Yesterday, when your Bank Nifty has bottomed out, selective banking counter has contributed. So ICICI Bank is positive to range bound, taking support at the major rising trend line. So here you have support near to 738 and can target to us 777.
Okay.
92. And Ambuja Cement is also one name which already we discussed. That slow and steady can head to us 400 marks.
All right, I hope the viewers have taken note. Chandan, pleasure chatting with you as always. Thank you for joining in and for answering a host of questions, queries and concerns that our viewers have. Thank you so much to all our viewers for tuning in once again. We'll be back at 8:30 a.m. sharp again tomorrow. Stay tuned. Meanwhile, I'll take your leave. But don't go anywhere. Santo and CJ will be coming up next.